The belief in the oneness of humanity and the conviction that global unity is essential for lasting peace have inspired countless Baha'is to dedicate their lives to sharing the teachings of Bahá'u'lláh with the world. Among these devoted pioneers, Marion Jack is celebrated as one of the greatest. Born on December 1, 1866, in St. John, New Brunswick, Canada, Marion grew up in a prominent family and pursued an education rich in culture and art, studying in England and France. A gifted landscape painter, her art reflected the beauty she saw in the world, a beauty she would later infuse with the spiritual truths of her faith. Marion first encountered the Baha'i faith during her student days in Paris. From that moment, her life took on a divine purpose, wholly dedicated to spreading the message of Bahá'u'lláh. In 1908, she traveled to Akka and had the profound honor of meeting Abdu'l-Baha. Captivated by her joy, humor, and unwavering spiritual strength, he lovingly called her General Jack. During her time in the Holy Land, she taught English to his grandchildren, including the young Shoghi Effendi, and basked in the sacred presence of Abdu'l-Baha. Marion's devotion deepened further during Abdu'l-Baha's visits to London, where she hosted him in her home. On one such occasion, he spoke of his hope that the people of the West may be illumined by the light of God and find a new birth. These words struck a chord in Marion's heart, propelling her into a lifetime of service. By 1919, she had already answered Abdu'l-Baha's call to pioneer, traveling to Alaska to share the Baha'i teachings with those in remote regions. In 1930, at the age of 65, Marion's path of service brought her back to Haifa, where Shoghi Effendi asked her to pioneer to Bulgaria. Without hesitation, she left for a land she had never known, where she would spend the remaining years of her life. Despite language barriers and unfamiliar surroundings, Marion's warmth and steadfastness quickly endeared her to those around her. She established thriving Baha'i communities in Sofia and Varna, planting seeds of love and unity that would flourish for generations. One of her students, who became a Baha'i through Marion, recalled, "Miss Jack had a smile for everyone. Her small hotel room overflowed with paintings, books, and her spirit of love. Despite the language difficulties, her devotion shone through. She made me feel like I was part of something eternal." I met Miss Jack in June 1938 in Sofia. I had left Austria when Hitler took over and found a temporary position waiting for my visa to the United States. I noticed her in the restaurant where I took my luncheon, and she impressed me immediately with her friendly smile that she had for everybody. One day, when her regular waiter, who spoke English, had his day off, the hostess asked me to serve as interpreter, and from that day on, I shared the luncheon table with her regularly. It did not take long before she invited me to join a small group of her friends with whom she had discussions in her hotel room. And that was how I met the faith. As World War II approached, Shoghi Effendi urged Marion to seek safety in Switzerland. Yet Marion begged to stay with her spiritual children in Bulgaria. Amid the chaos of war, the threat of bombings, and the dangers of a pro-Nazi regime, she remained steadfast. Living in poverty, often without adequate food, heating, or clothing, she endured the harsh winters and frequent displacement with unshakable faith and an ever-cheerful demeanor. In the years that followed, as Bulgaria fell behind the Iron Curtain, Marion's trials grew heavier. She faced extreme isolation, illness, and profound hardship, yet she never wavered in her service. She lived in small, cold, and damp quarters, at times even a windowless cellar, but her spirit remained radiant. Her letters to the Guardian reflected not complaints, but gratitude and love for her mission. One of the friends writes of these days, "She was much sought out and beloved everywhere she went." As the so-called Iron Curtain dropped, fewer people attended her meetings because of fear of the government. Towards the end of her life, even her closest friends no longer went to see her, except one Baha'i. During the last months of her severe illness, I wrote Miss Jack almost every week, and in her last letter she bade me goodbye, hoping for a reunion in the kingdom. Marion Jack passed away in 1954 at the age of 87. In a letter dated June 17, 1954, to the National Spiritual Assembly of the Baha'is of the British Isles, the Guardian, through his secretary, extols the standard set by Marion Jack as a pioneer. To remain at one's post, to undergo sacrifice and hardship, loneliness, and, if necessary, persecution, in order to hold aloft the torch of Bahá'u'lláh, is the true function of every pioneer. Let them remember Marion Jack, who for over 20 years, in a country the language of which she never mastered, during war and bombardment, evacuation and poverty, and at length serious illness, stuck to her post, and has now blessed the soil of the land she had chosen to serve at such cost with her precious remains, every atom of which was dedicated to Bahá'u'lláh. The Baha'i community she nurtured in Bulgaria now extends across over 100 localities.